She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
Hey everybody, it's time to jump into our content today. This is Coach Erica. We are on our Never Date Just One journey. So if this is your first time here, good, because now you got to get up, put on to exactly how you should have been dating from the beginning since you started dating. And a lot of these upsets we would have maybe dodged had we known the right way to date. So welcome again, Arthur China T, Coach Erica. I began the Never Date Just One because I saw too many people dating incorrectly, getting their feelings hurt, putting all of their eggs in one basket, and the end results is heartbreak or some babies or something else besides what they thought they was gonna have. So we have to move this along so we can get to the nitty gritty. What is that? Somebody somewhere in this world, there is a man that is waiting for us to feel our energy. However, our vibrations are so low, we need to raise them so he can get to us, okay? So now, yesterday we ended talking about the 6 types of guys, the 3 categories of guys, 6 types of guys, and the 5 guys you should avoid. Today, I'm going to back it up, and I need to go to the roster dating commandments, okay? I don't know if y'all saw the video on YouTube. Make sure you head over to YouTube to catch up on all the videos. I did have to add 1 commandment at the top because this is something that I do see as a consistent problem. And ladies, regardless of how you feel, you got to break out of this. Ready? So these are the 11 roster dating commandments. And let me just tell y'all about the commandments. The same way that y'all have commandments in the Bible. Y'all remember, y'all heard about the crack commandments for when you go sell, when you go to the hood and you sell drugs, there are crack commandments. There are commandments for the Bible, but there are roster dating commandments as well, okay? So we're going to start going through the first one. Thou shalt not leave the home looking any kind of way. Y'all got to stop that. The better you look, the better you feel, you can attract the right energy. Please stop leaving the house looking any kind of way, bun to your head, big dirty clothes. I know you was home comfortable. Hey, Gary, I know you was home comfortable, and I like that. But when we step out, our energy is always to attract the right energy. We can't go out looking any kind of way because you'll attract the energy that fills you. So say, for instance, you looking, you just comfortable. We don't know, the universe don't know what to pick up on, and then here come a dusty your way coming to talk to you, trying to figure out why is he attracted to me? Because I'm trying to tell you, the better you look, the better you feel, the right energy attracts. So thou shalt not leave the house looking any kind of way anymore. It's going to take a few extra moments for you to get yourself together. See how I put this quick ponytail in? It's not a lot, but I didn't come to y'all with a bonnet on my head looking any kind of way, okay? Second commandment, thou shalt give to men what they give you. Do not match energy, match actions. Y'all finna get it wrong because I know y'all hear all the time. Match energy, match energy. We're not changing our energy for anybody, okay? We still have a loving energy. We still have an accepting energy. No, what we are going to do is match actions. So do unto others as you want others to do unto you, okay? If you don't want that action, then don't do it to me. Simple. I didn't say change the energy. You still need to be that loving woman that brings in the correct energy. However, you are not going to be letting somebody do you one kind of way and you doing them some kind of other way. Do them exactly how they're doing you. Reciprocate. Okay? Next commandment, thou shalt not like a man more than he likes you. If you're his type, he will keep you right. Y'all got to stop. That's why y'all be moving on. That's why y'all be on the phone so much and y'all be texting so much because you starting to like him. You think he got an emotional investment. He doesn't. Stop over liking people. You don't even know what they finna do for you, if they finna bring you up to their level in life or kind of crash you down. Y'all give y'all feelings away, your like away so much, so stop that. Let's put that up. You need to figure out what it is that he can add value to your life. And then once it gets greater from there, then you can start liking, okay? But thou shalt not like any more men more than they like you. Because trust me, if you his type, he going to make sure you're straight all the time. He going to make sure y'all good if you his type. If you're not his type, that means that you are over liking him. He's about to get over on you. Understand the difference? All right. Thou shalt remain in her feminine energy even when her back is against the wall. Ask everyone for help. Y'all problem is you don't know how to ask for help, but then you think it's a cowardly to ask for help. You think it's childish, whatever. I ask for help. Ask for help. Remember they said no question is the wrong. No question that's asked is the wrong question. Ask for help. Hey, I need help. Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Stop putting your back against the wall like this, and then now you got an attitude, and you got all this mess coming with you. Now you attracting some attitude, dirty energy, and we don't want to do that. So you can't do it on your own. Admit it and start delegating it out. You can't do it yourself. Good morning, Rose. That's fine. Delegate it out. Stop putting your back against the wall. Making everything so stressful, ladies. Next one. Thou shalt not allow any man, listen, thou shalt not allow any man in the cookie jar that has not invested in the cookie factory. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's too many people getting in those jars, ladies. They is taking out precious cargo. Pieces of you in there leaving you empty. Jars empty, you are empty, and then you go to somewhere else and you just empty. Stop letting people in your jar, put in their hands in your jar. They haven't even invested in the factory. What does that mean? You are the investment. You are the prize. If he has not fulfilled a need for you, if he has not shown you what you need to see, why is he able to dip in your cookie jar and taste your cookies? That's ridiculous. He should not know how good those cookies are, how warm they are, how they make him feel good. No, he has not invested in the factory. You are the factory. Where's the investment? Okay, whether that's financially, whether that's emotionally, we need an investment before we let somebody in our cookie jar. The cookie factory is closed for business. Hello, Lola. Close the cookie factory for business, okay? All right. Now, thou shalt not yell. I know y'all hear me talking loud, but I'm only talking to y'all because I'm on live. But this is as far as this loud stuff goes. Thou shalt not yell or talk hard at any man. That's masculine behavior. It won't get you far, and you'll pick up speed and go nowhere. Yelling at men, telling men what to do, that's not what you do as a woman. You let him know, hey, I need this done. If it doesn't get done, you ask somebody else to do it. Stop yelling. Stop yelling, okay? Hey, I need this done. If it doesn't get done, you ask somebody else to do it. That's why y'all need to maintain a roster, because you will ask one person to do it, and when he doesn't do it, he lets you down. You're upset that you find yourself doing it yourself. Negative. If what he doesn't do, there is somebody else over here that will. I get so frustrated. We're gonna be okay, Brittany. Okay, I know. That's why I'm going through these things with y'all, so I can take away that frustration. Okay, they will get you out of character. They will have you looking like you the problem. Absolutely not. Hey, babe, can you take the garbage out? 2 days passed by, the garbage not out. Get on your roster. Hey, Jerry, I know it seems small, but you know I don't take garbage out. Can you come over today and take the garbage out? It's real petty, but you're not doing it. Because if the first person won't do it, ask the next person. You see how this go? All right. I always struggle with having a roster because I feel like I don't have enough time to juggle multiple men. And that's why I'm glad you're here. That's why I'm glad you're here, because I'm going to tell you how to juggle these multiple men as we go on this journey, because you have to put yourself first. The problem with that in the past, Rose, is because you wasn't able to do that. It's because you was putting them before you. You forgot your needs. So you kept saying, no. Here you go. Here go all of them. You will give time to those who are giving you the injuries for you to be able to receive. That's it. You see how easy that is? Here is you in the front. Here is all of them in the back. You can't worry about what they got. Can they fulfill your needs? You will pass out time to those accordingly. And then you will use your weekends to debrief. Weekends are debriefing sessions, and we will get to that later. I always get my partner on the pedestal. You're not wrong. Yes, I know. This is where y'all partners be. And this is where y'all be. Dead. This is where you are. This is where these people are. Why? Because if not you, then who? If you don't take care of you, these people ain't going to take care of you either. They're going to just see you stress yourself to death trying to make them happy. You trying to make you happy. You in the front. I just put you in the front. Please come from back here. We've been back here too long, and that's been a problem. Our needs are still unmet back here. We are in the front. We are the prize. We are the purpose. That's it. Man findeth his wife. Man findeth his wife. There is no work on the wife's end, just to be in the right place at the right time with the right energy. That's all the woman do. Man findeth his wife. Woman bees in place at the right time with the right energy. That is all she does, because the man still has to come to her, but he can't come if there's a bunch of blocks. He can't feel her energy. Okay. So now again, thou shalt not yell at or talk hard at a man. Along with that, Thou shalt not ask a man to do anything twice. Simply ask another man. They go hand in hand. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not screaming at you. And I'm not asking you more than once. There is somebody else that will get it right the first time. Exercise your options, because guess what? The moment you don't do what he needs you to do, guess who he with? On his roster, Cause you ain't get them right. You ain't suck them right. You ain't F them right. You ain't do nothing right. But there is somebody else who takes up what your slack is. And he ain't got to stop messing with you just because she take up the slack. See how that go? Exercising his right to have options. You've got to learn how to start doing the same and keep doing the same until he has found you. Okay. What you mean with roster? Brittany. Oh, okay. You know what? When I finish these commandments, I'm going to explain it in depth when I say roster, okay? Just hang on, Brittany. Let me get through the commandments, okay? Next commandment, thou shalt not settle for any reason. Continue dating until the best man finds you. A lot of y'all have settled. Y'all have met John. John showed a little bit genuine interest. Y'all went on a couple of dates. You felt like you liked John. You put all your eggs in one basket. 6 months passed by, John's still the same. He still don't plan dates. Y'all have not did anything extraordinary. Not all y'all do is Netflix and chill now. 6 months done passed. You don't let John get away with stuff. You have settled. You have settled because you think that John is the only person that'll like you. Absolutely not. Because your vibrations are here, John's vibrations are here, y'all attract. When you start increasing your vibrations, John is no longer attracted to you. He cannot reach you. You are too high. This is where you are. This is why you keep attracting John. We don't want no more Johns. Those are the Dusties. We want the men that's going to pull us up to their level. Okay, so that's why I said you can't settle. If you're settling, then you're still at that level. You're not moving up. You're just settling. All right. Thou shalt not spin the block no matter how remodeled and gentrified it has become. I know y'all love a change. I know y'all love a big change. No matter how the block has been remodeled, no matter how gentrified and whoever, you're not spinning that block. You should not know what is going on that block anymore. You are done with that block. When you packed your bag and got in your car and drove off that block, that was it. That was it. We're not turning the corner and saying, okay, let me go back and see if he's still out there. Absolutely not. Because you're going to turn the corner. He's going to be out there. It's going to be another woman in his arms. Stop playing with yourself. Stop spinning that block, man. It ain't that much change in the world. I know y'all saw Ashanti and Nelly. Ashanti settled. Y'all don't think she did because she got a baby and she got married. Ashanti settled. She went all of those years with not loving nobody like she loved Nelly. And then when Nelly was available again, she jumped right up, gave her uterus, gave him a baby, and got married. Ashanti settled. She did not level up. She went back down to the vibrations that Nelly had her own long time ago. It was a settle. Please don't use that as an example. You know who was a level up? If you want an example for real, Sierra. Remember Sierra was down here with Future? He was dogging her out. Remember that? And then Sierra got tired of it. So she said, I can't do this no more. She said her prayer, her vibrations started increasing. Future stayed down here. Guess who was up here already with their money? That husband she with right now. Her vibrations increased. Next thing you know, he up here felt her attraction. Then what did he do? Reach down and pull her up to his level. Do you see where I'm going with this? Let your husband find you. You are here. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Ashanti stayed here. Sierra went here and went further than that. So I'm trying to tell y'all, okay? Don't settle just because you feel like, dang, me and him got a history. Future and Sierra had a history and a child. And she still said, this is not for me. I deserve better. And got it. Knew it and got it. Manifested it and got it. Manifested it and got it. Okay? Now, thou shalt not overtext, overcall, or overreach out. If you overextend yourself, you'll overstay your welcome. He can't wait to get rid of you. Sometimes y'all text too much. I told y'all sometimes y'all talk too much. Stop it. Pull all of that energy into a date. Make him do all of this stuff in person so you can read his body language. Because you're going to learn a lot from that body language. You're not going to learn nothing from listening to whatever he wants to tell you. You're not going to know nothing from reading whatever he wants to tell you. But that body language is going to show you a lot. So learn how to be observant and stop always trying to text and talk. Y'all got to start watching and observing. Go into the environments with his family, with his friends, with his coworkers. See the different versions of him. So you can make an informed decision if this is the best man for you. Because a lot of time when y'all get with somebody and then they become abusive, they come to somebody else, the first thing y'all says, I thought I knew him. You only knew what he allowed you to know. That is it. The other things come out by you observing him in different settings in his life. You will learn a lot by the way he treats you, by the way he treats others, and about the way he treats himself. You won't need to learn nothing else but from those two things, because you're going to see if he's respectful, if he's loving, if he's caring, if he's worth your time by the way he treats you, by the way he treat others and by the way he treat himself. Remember, self is first. If this person is not treating themselves well because they're sleeping around, ask yourself, do you need to get on that bandwagon? Because a person who sleeps around is clearly showing us that there is little to no self-love because they're just passing their energy out to anybody. Think of that. Don't let no man tell you nothing different. How he treats you, others, and himself is all you need to know about him. You'll learn so much just by observing, okay? And the last one, thou shalt not cut anyone off that will serve better as a friend. Every suitor is not worth you being in love, but they may be a great friend. I told you, I remember we talked yesterday, if you wasn't here, Daquan. Daquan was the one that had the listening ear. Daquan listened to everything you had going on. Initially, you thought you and Daquan was going to be great as lovers, but you feel after those first conversations, you soon learned that Daquan is better as your homeboy. So before you cross those lines and cut Daquan off, because now you don't mess with him no more, instead of that, you made him a homeboy. Have you a lifelong friend. Every man is not going to be your lover, but they don't need to be your enemy either. They can be your friend, okay? So those are our 11 commandments, okay? If you can go to YouTube, watch the video. This video will be on YouTube so you can run it back. Please, let's keep these commandments in the forefront. Now, hold on. I'm going back because I got to answer a question. Somebody asked, let me get to the question, y'all. It was from Brittany. Brittany said roster day. She don't understand roster day. Well, let me explain to you. Yeah, roster day. How can you be friends with the men though? Never had a good experience because you have to keep it you have to make, first of all, you have to set standards. Remember I told you about the commandments? These are the commandments for roster dating. The reason why the friendships don't go the way you want them to go because standards have not been set. There have been too much flirting and some other stuff. Set the standard from the beginning. Sir, I'm not looking for nothing beyond a platonic friend. If he can't oblige to that, get out of there. Set the standard early, though. Let him know you're not looking for nothing sexual, nothing emotional. You're just looking for a genuine friend because you have not had that in a man in a long time. If he cannot understand that, get out of there. Set boundaries from the beginning. You do not have to jump into something that you don't want to. If you set the boundaries from the beginning, then that's it. What is your name on YouTube? China T Coach Erica. Click the link in my bio, Daily Pay, and you can get right to the link because the YouTube link is in my bio. And you will have all of the episodes that we have had up until this point, okay? So, setting boundaries early. Now, back to what is roster dating? Roster dating is the act of multiple people dating multiple people. Dating. Let me underline, highlight, bold, and capitalize the word dating. Y'all finna confuse dating with sex. That's why I told y'all been doing it all wrong. Dating has never included sex. Dating does not include anything physical. Dating is fun. It has always been to fun because the more fun you have with somebody and the more you can see them in different settings, the more you can start developing genuine, organic feelings for them and you can start seeing things or red flags will start popping up when you date. When you meet him on Monday, y'all have talked and text up until Wednesday. You have invited him over on Thursday and y'all have jumped in the bed on Friday. You did not date. You did it all wrong. And guess what? The results you're looking for ain't coming with him because you ain't saw all the versions of him yet. You just saw this initial cap version, the cap version that every man has because every man has a cap version. You saw the initial cap version. You liked the cap. You fell for the cap. You F'd the cap. The cap played you. Stop it. That's surface level attraction. Okay? What all-in-one home care says, you're getting to know multiple people at the same time. This is where everybody starts. The level. That's John, Jerry, Mike, Dante, Darius, and Jimmy. Everybody on the same level. As the weeks go by, they will increase because you will start getting your needs met. So you have a need, like I said, you have a need for your hair and nails to get done. Every woman wants to feel beautiful. Somebody on the roster takes care of that. He moves up a notch. I didn't say fuck him. I just said he moves up a notch. You have a need to go on nice dates. Somebody on the roster takes you on nice dates all the time. Move them up. You have a need for bills to get paid. Somebody on the roster paying your bills. Move them really up. You see what I'm saying? But when everybody comes, they're on the same different level. When they start moving up is when your needs start getting met. No, they don't move up and the gift is not sex. The gift is not sex. The gift is your happiness. You are the prize. Now, you see how that went? You are the prize. You are the gift. When we start leveling up in roster dating, that means that we connecting. We trying to get to the level of maybe we can. Now, there is a downside of roster dating. You may see where guys get tired of putting in effort because you're not putting out anything. That's okay. That's exactly what's supposed to happen on roster dating. Let those who do not want you fall off and you can add others on. What does that mean? Because you just got rid of somebody with bad intentions. See, you didn't even know all his intentions was to have sex with you. But see, when you didn't give him none, he slowly faded out. Let him. Because now you can see what his intentions was. He was just trying to have sex. So the roster is that. Yes, so the weakest links will go away. Absolutely. Weakest links always drop off. Y'all see it on the TV show. Everybody who can't play the game, they always lose. Don't they drop off? And at the end of the game is one contestant. Think of Wheel of Fortune. Think of Spin the Wheel. What is that? Mama Loves It. The spin the wheel thing. It's always one contestant that win. But it's multiple people that start. Do y'all see? It be multiple contestants on that line. Everybody start from zero. As each contestant gets an answer right or whatever, points start increasing. People start going up. The last one at the top is the winner. That's your roster. I don't even got to explain it no more. Watch the game shows. They start with 3,000 players, and at the end is only one winner. And it's a process. It's a process. You don't see them going from 3,000 players this episode. At the top of the show, and then 5 minutes later, there's some. No. It's a process. Think of the Survivor. That's the game show where they go over weeks and weeks of trying to get to the last person. That is the process of roster dating. You're going weeks, sometimes months, and your coochie is not the prize. Your coochie is not online right now. It ain't even up for grabs right now. Your coochie is locked up. We just finna play the game how the game been playing us. Now you finna say, well, dang, I be liking people. Yes, and that is the way you get married, because that is how I got married. Listen, I'm not telling y'all not to do nothing I didn't do. I didn't get married from a boyfriend. I got married from a roster. Because when men love competition, when men get tired of competing with other men, they would do what they need to do to take you out of that competition. My ex, he did that. He told me, I got tired of that. You mean I gotta schedule some time to come see you? You do, because it's not just you, it's other men too. Because when it was just him, he didn't marry me. I gave him 2 years. I gave him 2 years. He did not marry me in 2 years. I went on with my life. I got a roster. He married me then. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I feel like because I'm on the level I shut down. Y'all, the problem with y'all is y'all keep going into everything with emotion because you've been held up for somebody else's mess. You blaming yourself for somebody else's mess. That ain't got nothing to do with you. They treated you that's all they knew. But guess what? That's not all you finna know. Your vibrations was low. I'm finna help you increase them because you got to leave him down here and you got to go up here. Roster dating will do that for you. If you stay down here trying to deal with one man, another man, 5 years wasted. God has just said 5 years wasted with one man. And in 5 years, she could have met 5,000 men and been married. You feel, well, she can't fuck them out. I never told her to do that. I'm not telling y'all to use y'all coochies as prizes. Please put them up. Please put them up. That's been a problem. Because listen, sometimes when you know it's a rift in your relationship, a lot of y'all say, okay, let me give him more sex. When you should be doing the opposite. If you are not on the same levels at any time in a relationship, when you call yourself a girlfriend, you need to pull sex out immediately because y'all got to find a common ground and sex ain't finna be it. You cannot rely on good sex. All that makeup sex when y'all get mad and he come back, that is a soul child and that is a wrong energy you are exchanging. That is not what you want to keep being in your relationship. So when there is a rift with any man, the first thing you do is remove sex. And you tell him, hey, I already know what's going on with us, but we got to find common ground before I can give you my body again. Because I don't feel like I need to give you my body and you up here and I'm down here. What? No. How are you even getting turned on? And y'all on different levels. Again, I'm trying to remove sex from it because that's been a problem this long, lady. You're using sex to bind to men. Your sex is not a binding tool. It should be emotions that bind him to you. He should feel like when he wake up, he can't do nothing throughout his day without you. And that's not going to come from sex. Okay? Now, we got those commandments out the way and we learned what roster dating is. The next thing I want to jump back into, because we said, how do we bring the boys to the yard? First of all, this is the book, y'all. I'm going to mirror this and turn it around. It's coming out soon. I'm in my final drafts. I told y'all whenever I think of something, I got to put it in there. So this is the book. This is what y'all going to have. It's going to give y'all everything that y'all need in it. And it also has a roster in it. You see that say active roster? I'm showing you how to do it. I'm not just telling you. I'm showing you how to do it. So this book is coming out soon. So y'all just, everything that Shira told me, telling y'all, everything that dating coach Anwar telling y'all, everything that I'm telling y'all is all here. Okay? It's all here. Because I know a lot of y'all come back and forth to these videos. Shira might have some ebooks, but you need an in-depth example. This book is going to give you that example, okay? Tammy is our test subject. Throughout every chapter in this book, we follow Tammy's story. How Tammy got played on a dating app. How Devin played her. How Devin even came back and acted like he liked Tammy again. How Devin kept playing for her. And when Tammy got tired of that, Tammy took a page out of the roster dating book. She said, I got to heal myself. I got to figure out what my needs are. And then Tammy was ready to roster date. And she jumped back into dating. Tammy went through like 3 or 4 rosters. But in a year's time, Tammy connected with her person. I'm trying to tell you, it's a process. But Tammy had to go back to the beginning because she realized that she was the problem, not Devin. All right. So now, what I want to talk about today is the boys to the yard. Somebody asked me yesterday about how do we get to the men that we need to get to. I'm going to tell y'all right now. First and foremost, it's raining men. Every time you step out your house, it's raining men. Please don't think that it's not. It's always raining men. But sometimes, for one, your energy is down. You know why? Because you don't look like you happy. You don't look great because you went out the house looking any kind of way. So it brings your energy down. So you're not attracting that energy, okay? Also, because you're going out the door and you just don't know what you want. You don't know what your needs are. You've never said, I have a need for conversation. No, you just get with somebody who talked to you on the phone for 3 minutes. You think that's cool. No, if you have a need for in-depth conversation, find the man, get with the man that's going to fulfill that need. And he's somewhere. You just ain't attracting him because you keep texting. Stop texting. Okay. All right. So roster dating is about being intentional and smart when it comes to dating multiple people. And I'm reading from the book, y'all. Okay. It's on the computer. So roster dating is about being intentional and smart when it comes to dating multiple people. And I'm reading from the book, y'all. Okay. It's on the computer. Every morning, somebody try to call me and I tell people, I put it on do not disturb and it never works. Anyways, you ain't got to commit to just one person too soon. Okay. The secret sauce is keeping it balanced, knowing what you really want, and laying down some clear boundaries. Okay. When we talk about boundaries, that's what we have to do in roster dating from the beginning. We're going to break down how to meet and manage multiple people without getting overwhelmed. Somebody just asked me this. I'm going to tell y'all how not to get overwhelmed. Again, because the first thing is you putting yourself first. You'll learn how to gather tea, get all the information you need on these men so you can determine who they are, their character, their values, and if they need to be in your energy and if you should be in their energy. That's what roster dating doing. So let's go back. Now let's go to Tammy's story. If you just come in here, you missed the first part of Tammy's story, but you will get it if you go to YouTube. All right, let's talk about Tammy's story. Tammy decided it was time to switch up her dating game. Instead of diving headfirst into another serious relationship, she took control of her romantic life by exploring roster dating. The ideal of dating multiple men at the same time felt like a breath of fresh air, and Tammy knew this approach would give her the time and space she needed to see what suitor was all about her without rushing to anything. She wasn't looking to settle down right away, but she was also not about to waste any more of her time with dudes who weren't serious about getting to know her and learning her. With a solid dose of self-love, she treated dating as a chance to discover more about herself and the men she was vibing with. All right, so let's talk about the first 5 on Tammy's rosters. Over the next few weeks, Tammy met 5 different guys through dating apps, community outings, and friends. Y'all got to learn how to start using y'all friend groups, y'all communities, and dating apps appropriately to build your roster. All right. She was real upfront with each one of them. She told everybody that she was dating multiple people so that nobody put all their eggs in their basket about her, because she was not doing that about him. She's always been honest. Okay. Transparency was key for her because she did not want anybody to assume that they were exclusive too early or too soon. All right, sis, let's break down the guys that Tammy met on her roster. If you missed yesterday, I said there were 3 categories of guys 6 type of guys in those 3 categories and 5 you needed to avoid. If you missed that video, go back to that video on YouTube, and I'm about to break down the people who Tammy met based on the type of guys that is, okay? Daquan. Daquan is the intellectual gentleman, okay? Here goes some traits about him. Daquan has charm, quick wit. He has a love for intellectual conversations. Tammy knows she likes in-depth conversations, so she likes Daquan for that. The intellectual category, he has good manners. He's chivalrous. He opens doors, pulls out chairs, lets Tammy order first, okay, or asks her what she wants. His considerations, Tammy is secure. She's curious about his intense career. He has already told her that he is very focused on his career. That's a red flag for Tammy, because Tammy wants to build something, and if a job is in a way, that might not be what she needs right now, okay? But she's taking that into consideration. She still has not determined if he is going to go on the roster yet. Now, here is the first date. She met up with Daquan at a cute little wine bar. Real cozy vibes. He came in looking sharp and laid back, spitting quick wit and hitting her with some smooth conversation. Tammy likes him. I told her she's an intellectual. So his quick wit, she's messing with that, okay? They were chopping it up about the books they love to read, the stories they read, the hiking trips. All of these things are like goals for Tammy. She's like, great. But see, the old Tammy would have went right in and liked him. But the new Tammy said, I like what I see on the surface. I need to go a little deeper, okay? All right, so she said everything was all good until he kept peeking at his phone. Red flags. He kept looking at his phone like work couldn't wait. There was another red flag for him. So not only is he checking out of their date on the first date, he keeps looking at his phone, texting about work. She doesn't know what's going on, but his attention is not on her. Red flag. That doesn't mean he doesn't go on the roster. But again, she's adding these red flags up, okay? Now, the date was fun. Tammy enjoyed the vibe, but in the back of her mind, she was like, this man gonna have me competing with his job. See what I'm saying? Tammy is not competing with his job. So, but we're moving along. Next person, Joe. This is the adventuring bad boy. When we talked about the bad boy, the one who loves adventure. All right. He may not have a job. He may be a drug dealer. He may be whatever. You got to know how to categorize these men. All right. The adventuring bad boy. Traits. Joe loves travel. Joe loves excitement. Joe has the adventurous spirit that makes him a classic adventuring bad boy. Tammy also realized that Joe has an avoidance of deep conversation. So whenever she brings up deep talks, Joe checks out. Red flag for Tammy, because eventually they got to get to that conversation that's deep about where they're going. If Joe don't seem like he checking out, she finna be worried about in a relationship. When it's time to sit down and ask them where they going, is Joe gonna check out then? Red flag, okay? All right, so Tammy suggested, red flags for Tammy, suggesting that he may not be looking for a committed or meaningful connection. So she's not going to give her coochie to him. She's not going to give anything to him because she can pick up on Joe want to have fun. So guess what? So Joe invites her to a date on a rooftop bar. He's like ready to chill. He's giving her all these wild stories. Every sentence he says, that reminds me of a time I was in Bali. Or you got to see the sunsets in Costa Rica. He's like a walking travel episode. He's all hyper energy. Tammy was feeling his excitement. But when she tried to go deeper, Joe kept everything surface level. So Tammy doesn't know if Joe has anything, some demons he dealing with or whatever, because Joe won't talk about nothing else but surface level stuff. Red flag, but she's still making a decision if he gonna go on the roster. Moving along, Damien. Damien is a romantic stuck in his past pain. Remember I told you about the red flags? Those men that always talk about some ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. Damien. Traits. Damien's comfort and realness makes him a good fit as a romantic with his emotional depth and authenticity. Okay, so he's authentic. Well, he's emotional. He has depth, but still healing from a breakup. Damien leans toward the stuck in his past category, which leaves Tammy uncertain about his readiness for a serious relationship. You should not be hearing about an ex. At no time should you know about an ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, anything that came before you. And if it comes up, it needs to be brief. But if it keeps coming up, red flag, because that means this man is not over that. And while you over there trying to get him to love you, and he loving somebody else, you already wasting your time right there. Get it out of here. But Keep it in mind. And let's talk about the first date. Damien did things a lot different. He invited Tammy to a jazz lounge that he was doing a little set because that's what he does on the side. She was feeling it. The mood was right. The music was on point, and the vibe was great. After his set, they sat and talked. He opened up about his recent breakup. Another red flag. He is still talking about the past, okay? And he's still trying to heal. I don't want a man that hasn't healed all the way. I don't want that. You should not want that either. Go let somebody else heal him. Okay? That is not your job as a woman. I need y'all to... People come to me because I heal. Stop. People come to you because the energy you give off is you're going to put them before you. You should not want no man that has not healed. What is he going to bring you? But dysfunction. He needs to go heal. In quiet. Shut his mouth too. All right? Tammy could feel that he was genuine, but she sensed that he was still holding on to some hurt. Date was sweet, real grown and sexy, but she reminded herself to keep her guard up only because Damien doesn't feel like he's over his past. So she told herself, this man's got potential, but I'm going to let him heal fully first. I told y'all, potential does nothing for women. Tammy saw his potential. Tammy also saw his pain. So potential outweighs pain. Go take care of that pain, and then we can worry about in the future if I'm available. All right. Now moving on to David, the next guy. David, the alpha male, the money maker who lacks substance. And we talked about that. You would get yourself an alpha male. You would get yourself a makes money, but he would have no substance. He would just be like empty. All right. Traits. David's ambition and confidence showcases alpha male energy, which is Tammy's attracted to. But his focus on material success hints at the money maker who lacks substance. So she's picked up on all he is about is material and money. There's nothing else that backs him. So that lets her know that, for one, self-esteem might be in the ground. She does not want a man who is not confident. A man who makes money is not confident just because he makes money. He still got some things he got to deal with in the dark, and don't nobody need to deal with that, not even you. Now, Tammy wonders if he's genuine about their connection or just appearances. Red flag, because if it seems like he only wants that validation from the outside, and Tammy's a beautiful woman, she is not going to be on his arm to be a trophy wife. That's not what she wants, so she's not sticking around, all right? Tammy wonders if he's genuine about the connection, so she's watching if his value aligns with his words and if it aligns with hers, okay? Now, he wasn't playing on the first date. He took Tammy to a fancy rooftop restaurant with a multi-million-dollar view. So I told him he got money, so this is nothing to him. Men with money will spend on you if they're trying to get to the prize. If your coochie is their prize, they will spend hella racks to get to your coochie, but that don't mean that they want you still. That does not mean that they want you, all right? You can either use it to your advantage or be offended by it. However you play it, okay? He came in looking like he owned the place, confident and polished. The convo was smooth, and Stitch started to notice he was talking more about his lifestyle than himself. Remember I told her about validation? She has picked up that David likes to be outwardly validated by everybody. But David doesn't seem like his head is in a good place for a relationship right now. Okay, so she's picking up on that. She was nodding along, but in her head, she was thinking, bruh, can we talk about anything that ain't flexing? See how all he talk about is the things that he got. I got this car. I got this amount of money. It's great, but then it becomes boring. What else do you have? What else? Is nothing else? Okay, so she walked away feeling mixed. Like, yeah, he's got ambition, but is he really trying to connect with her or just impress her? And then we got the last guy, Ethan, the gentleman, the romantic. Traits. Ethan was calm. He had a nurturing vibe. He had a strong match for both. Every morning, this phone does that. I kid y'all not. It's like people just don't understand. Every morning. Leave that shit off the hook. I'm tired of that shit coming through every morning. Okay, I leave it off the hook, y'all. It's too distracting. All right, Ethan. Ethan's calm. He has a nurturing vibe. He's a strong match in the gentleman and the romantic. He has grounded qualities. He shares some of Tammy's values, and it gives him a strong edge on her roster. Okay. Considerations. He's thoughtful and stable. That sets him apart from all the guys that she's went on a date with. He makes Tammy feel way more important than she usually is, and it seems like he wants a meaningful relationship. Okay. So he kept it low key on their first date. They went to a coffee shop. She was feeling it. It was cool. You know, that was cool. They sat down. Tammy felt calm, like this man was trying to really get to know her. They talked about real stuff, like their dreams, their values, their families. They did all this good stuff. Ethan was grounded. He listened to her, taking his time with her with no pressure. She left that day feeling appreciated, like now. This is the vibe that she was looking for. Surface level now. But you see what I'm going? She liked what Ethan presented. So now so let's talk about it now. Going back, if you just got in here, Tammy, over the next few weeks, Tammy has went on a date with Daquan. She's went on a date with Joe. She went on a date with Damien. She went on a date with David. And she went on a date with Ethan. She found all good traits about all of them. She found all negatives about all of them. Red flags. She took note of all their red flags. So now, Tammy is at a point where she has to decide who goes on the roster. All right. After each date, Tammy took some time to think about her experiences. Things that y'all don't do. First dates are eye-openers. Aside from that first conversation, remember, the process goes like this. Woman meets man. I said woman meets man. Not woman finds man. The man found her. So woman meets man. Woman and man exchange contact information. Man calls woman. They talk no more than 15, 20 minutes. Your first conversation should not be 30 minutes, should not be an hour, because you're finna run your mouth and talk yourself into a rabbit hole that you can't get out of. Lady, stop it. First phone call after the initial meeting, 15, 20 minutes. In that phone call, you're listening for certain stuff, you're looking for certain stuff, but you're not going in depth because you need to see those in-depth answers in person. Body language tells it all. First conversation leads to y'all planning a date. If the first conversation does not lead into a date being planned, let it go. This man is not trying to spend any money on dates. Men, and it ain't even about spending money, it's about being creative too. Because a date that's bringing you coffee and y'all walk in a beach and give you an opportunity to talk is a date depending on what type of woman you are. But some men are not creative. They think that dating gonna require all of this money. While you do need some money to date, you also need to be creative. Please hold these men to being creative, because y'all coming up with the picnic dates and y'all doing all this planning and he coming to it, but he ain't did no planning. It's unfair because it's too much weight on him. Remember I said we trying to take the weight off us and delegate? Delegate the date planning to him. Stop always planning these cute dates. See if he gonna do it too. All right? So, now Tammy knew that she was not interested in any surface level charm or fishy status. So who we know that was? If we go back to her roster, we knew that David was flashy. We know that Damien was stuck in his past. We know that Daquan was kind of charming, but then we also know that Joe was a bad boy. We got all of those things right there, right? So Tammy realized that some of those people not on the same level as her, so they can't go on with her, all right? So now, with that being said, she looked at what mattered most, which is the emotional maturity, some things that y'all be lacking because y'all start being blinded and think the process take too long. You got to process everything to get to where you need to be. So she remembered emotional maturity in the conversations, the communication, and the shared values. While she enjoyed all of their company, remember I told you, let me go back to the first date roster. Let me go back to the first date tracker. Y'all see that? Can you see it? What is the last questionnaire? Do they need to move to the roster? Was a second date planned? And do you move them to the roster? Now Tammy trying to determine if they go to the roster. So this is her decision. Y'all ready for this? We said 5 dates. 5 dates. She broke down all the men, the categories they was in, and everything they came with. She's already done that. Where is she finna take these 5 dates? These are the results. After sitting down and putting much thought into all of her dates, she enjoyed all their company. She narrowed her roster down to 3 guys. She started at 5. Remember I told you can start at 10. You'll start at 10 guys. You'll have your first conversations with all 10 of these guys, no more than 15 minutes, no more than 20 minutes. After that first conversation, you end up with 7. You started with 10. First conversation, you ended with 7. You went on the first date. After the first date, you ended with 4. That's where you roster from that point, okay? Did you see how that go? You see how that go? You're going to start with 10 men interested. You're going to exchange information with all 10 men. You're going to have a conversation with all 10 men. After those conversations, you're going to be like, So you want to go on with 7. Now you got 7 first dates. So after these 7 first dates, you go on these 7 first dates over the course of the next few weeks, you realize that a lot of these people playing games. So guess what? You end up with 4. Now we go from here. Now we go from here. You started with 10, you got down to 4. That's how you roster date. That is a compare and contrast. If they're not doing what you need them to do for you, why are they still even being considered? Drop them like a bad habit, no remorse, because he'll drop you with no remorse. All right? So she chose Daquan, she chose Damien, and she chose Ethan. So now let's go back to these 3, about these 3 guys. So Daquan, Tammy liked his quick wit, his love for intellectual conversations. He had good manners and he was chivalrous. And remember, their first date was at a cute little wine bar. She chose Damien because Damien was comforting. He had a realness to him. He had an emotional depth. He was a romantic, okay? He invited her to a jazz lounge where they had a great vibe, and he was a musician. So he showed her something different on her first date, Damien. And then Ethan. Ethan was a gentleman. He was a romantic. He had to share interests as her. He was stepping up in terms of his grounding qualities. And he showcased some things to her that was like nothing else that nobody has seen. Those are her 3. She did not choose Joe. Joe was the bad boy. Joe seemed like he didn't want nothing in depth and she wasn't going to waste her time. Even though Joe was going to be fun, Tammy was trying to go somewhere else. In dating, you have to know if you're trying to have fun or you're trying to get serious. That's where your intention comes from. If you're trying to have fun, then people like Joe will appease to you because you're going to like to go on those very fun dates, go to the club, get those booths, all that. Joe going to give you all of that. So go with Joe for the time being. But when you want serious, Joe is not it. So if you put all your eggs in one basket with Joe, you finna fail. Joe is not it, okay? Let's not. If you want to go serious, you may look at Ethan. Ethan presented himself to be a little bit more mature emotionally for a serious connection. So when you want that, you're going to go towards Ethan. If neither one of them have what you need, you drop both of them and go get some more. Y'all get stuck at one. No. Because if you ain't got what he need, he going to drop you and go get somebody else. Remember I said to match actions. Thou shalt match actions, not energy. Remember this? We're going back to that. We're going back to that. We are matching actions, not energy. I didn't say go over there and do it. I said if the men can do it and drop it like a bad habit, then we can too. Because guess what? We ain't picked up no soul tie because we ain't had no sex with them. And we ain't picked up nothing else because we ain't went too far with them. And we can drop them, leave them where they at. They'll leave us where we was. All right. So she chose Daquan, Damien, and Ethan. Now we go to the roster. Now how we entertain the roster. Her approach to roster dating was careful and deliberate. She entertained the men she was seeing by going on thoughtful and enjoyable dates with each one that never felt rushed. Okay, remember she's processing them and she's learning more through their body language, through their words, and see if all that stuff is meshing well based on how they treat her, how they treat themselves, and how they treat others. Okay. Now this is how you not feel overwhelmed. Tammy balanced her time between 3 men by giving each of them an attention they deserve while ensuring she was not over-invested in one connection too soon. Somebody said something about they be feeling overwhelmed. Okay, that's where your roster comes in there. When you go down your roster, when you go on these dates, you're looking for, hold on, y'all gotta bring it up. You're looking to check off certain things from these dates over time, okay? The most important thing I tell people to always go to is sex compatibility. And the reason why I say go to that is because I don't want you to be giving up your sex too soon, but then also giving up to somebody who's not even compatible with you sexually, okay? Now, you won't know that in the first few months. You won't know that at all. But when you get to that point, it's a lot of things on this active roster list that you got to take into consideration when determining where you're going, okay? I broke this down on a previous video. Go over to YouTube because I broke down each one of these things, okay? Now, abstaining from sex. This is the biggest thing from all. One thing that's Tammy recognized in her previous dating history. Remember, I told her this only comes with a self-evaluation and you being honest with yourself. Tammy recognized she was giving sex too soon to guys who did not show her anything. They gave her surface level connections that ended pretty quickly. This time, she had a rule that she would not engage into sex until she felt a deeper emotional connection. And that helped her remain clear on her objectives and her goal. Sex be clouding y'all judgment, especially if it's good sex. Especially if it's really good sex. When it's given too soon, you start liking him. Your judgment is cloudy. You start missing things like he don't got no job and he don't got no car. You missing all of those things because you're so endowed into that sex. That's why I told y'all gotta remove that, because it blinds y'all too much to things that are so obvious, but you don't know because you keep having sex. All right. To Tammy's surprise, whether y'all know it or not, because y'all be thinking that every man is after sex, but that's not it. To her surprise, not one of those men pressure her for sex. See, y'all will go in thinking, I ain't finna date him because all he want to do is hunch me. But that is the goal when people date. They do want to get to the point of sex, but certain men are not gonna rush you to it. They're gonna let it process, because guess what? They themselves don't want to. They not want to be intertwined with your mess. They don't know what comes with you. That's a man who knows himself. A man who understands and knows himself will not pressure you for sex. Go towards those men, because the ones who seem to want sex a lot are the men who don't have a lot. Like the ones who don't have a lot always want to be having sex. Pay attention to that, okay? Now, Daquan, for example, respected Tammy's boundaries, but seemed increasingly focused on his work. So, of course, he wasn't pressuring her for sex. He seemed like he was someone else, but Tammy appreciated that, and she still didn't knock him off yet. She still was going to give him time. Then you had Damien, on the other hand. He appreciated the time they spent together, valuing their conversation and connection over physical intimacy. See, Damien not even a sexual person. And we said that Damien was a romantic, so he doesn't need to have sex to fall for a woman. He needs a great in-depth connection. He doesn't even want to go that route. Again, make sure y'all learn y'all men, because every man is not after you for sex. There is only a certain man that is. Know him so you can spot him out the crowd and get away from him, okay? All right, and then we're talking about the last guy, Ethan. Ethan didn't even bother with sex because Ethan was trying to learn. Ethan wanted to, increase their connection and all that stuff. So Ethan wasn't pressuring her for sex at all. Now, let me say this. Also remember, just because he's not pressuring for sex does not mean he's not getting it from somewhere else. Be smart, woman. Be smart. Just because he's not pressuring you for sex does not mean he is not getting it from somewhere else. That's not your business, though. If he get it from somebody that came before you, that ain't got nothing to do with you right now, because y'all are dating. You're not even in that sexual space with him, so you can't tell him who he can sleep with. I know a lot of y'all be trying to get these men to drop their options off when they just met you. Absolutely not. You are new. Those people he already know. If they already doing the things that you're not doing, let them keep doing those things. You do not get involved in that, okay? That's not how you do that. So, again, just because he's not pressuring you for sex doesn't mean he's not getting from somewhere else. That ain't got nothing to do with you, though. Now, getting to know them, she spent more time with each man, focusing on who they were. She asked questions like, what role did love and communication play in your family growing up? Very important. Remember, I said you're going to learn about him based on how he treat you, himself, and others. So you need to know if love and communication was a part of his upbringing. Did they communicate effectively? Did he feel love, or was it a struggle? That's going to play a big difference in how he communicates and loves you. All right. She didn't ask him, tell me about when you was a child. She didn't ask him about that. She wanted to know about two specific things, love and communication. All right. How did you handle stress or conflict in your life? You need to know who that man is when he gets stressed and when he got conflict, because you may stress him in your relationship. If he has to hit you because he's stressed, you need to know that stuff. Ask questions. How does he handle stress and conflict in his life? Because that's a different version of him that you may never get a chance to see until he's in that situation. But keep watching. What did you do to cause your relationship to end, and how did he take the breakup? You finna see a man take responsibility of his stuff now. If he tell you, I ain't do nothing, she cheated on me. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Why is he blaming her? What did he do? Because we all do something, regardless of who we want to blame. We all do something. So if his thing is and then the way he talking, red flag, okay? How have you ever called a woman a bitch? Oh my God. Y'all be wanting respect for men. Ask them, you ever called a woman a bitch? Look at his facial expression and his body language when he tell you that story. He might just say, nah, I don't call women out their name. That's good. Or he's like, yeah, man, it was one time I was in a club and a bitch stepped on my shoe and shoe? Stepped on your shoe? That's petty. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Because what happens when you step on his heart? He just was going to call her a bitch because she stepped on the shoe. But if he feel like you stepped on his heart, you might be dead. You see where I'm going with this? Ask the right questions to get the answers that you need to make the informed decision on where you go with this person. All right, now, learning who stands out. Over time, you're going to see the guys who stand out. It's going to become clear. It became clear that Ethan was a man who most aligned with Tammy's long-term and short-term goals and values. He treated her with respect. He was emotionally available, and he showed genuine interest. Again, she was not going to be able to learn this off one date. As time goes on, she's going to be able to see this from all the men. Remember, I told you they all start here, and they start leveling up. See, Ethan started leveling up very quick, okay? The other guys was too, but Ethan did it quickly, all right? But he wanted to take things slow. She wanted to continue seeing him. So she stayed up. She kept her emotions in line. She took things slow. She continued to entertain her roster. In the end, Tammy felt like Ross committed to her roster dating. It gave her the clarity and empowerment she needed to choose the man who was great for her standards, and for her life, instead of her settling with just any man. Now, that is the purpose of the roster. I just told y'all how Tammy utilized dating apps, connection with friends and families, work, and outside community events for her to meet these 5 men over a course of a few weeks. When she met them, then she started initiating first dates. After their first initial conversation, everything ended in her going on a date. After their first dates, Tammy had a decision to make. Do she want to keep going on with all 5 of them? Or who does she want to keep connecting with? Because everybody is not going to play the game, is not going to be on the level she wants and play the game that she's trying to play. Unfortunately, she started with 5 and she ended with 3. That is how it goes. It is now it's a compare and a contrast from here on out. It is a process. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen in 1 month. It does not happen in 6 months. You can have several rosters over several years. Until you understand your needs and how these men can help you fulfill those needs, you're going to consistently be on a level of roster dating. Your needs have to come first. Remember, I said you got to be here and everybody got to be back here. When you're ready to be up here, I'm ready to help you get your needs met. If you're still back here putting people before you, I cannot help you back here. I do not know what's going on back there because I'm all the way up here. Remember, I told you, if you're down here and the men are up here, they don't know what's going on down here. They can't pull you up. You're too far down. They don't even feel your attraction. But as you start changing, you start going up. That's when they feel your attraction. Guess what they do? They dip down and pull you up to their level. Y'all keep meeting men here. They keep using y'all to pull them up. Y'all going further. Listen, y'all meet the men. The men y'all meet are here. They use y'all to pull them up. Y'all are steady going down. The further you go down, the men you need go up. They can never feel your attraction down in the pits of hell. You got to get rid of the people here. You got to get these out the way because they're the only one that's attracted to you right now. You need to move them out the way. They're not pulling you up. They're holding you down. All right, so go over to YouTube, catch up on all the videos prior to the day. Now that we've got all of these things out the way, now we can move into learning the full tracker. I got you to this point. I had taught you about the first date and the active roster. We're going to run back through those tomorrow when I come back on, and then we also going to get to the closed chapter part of this roster, okay? So you know exactly how to utilize this roster in your life, okay? All right, people, I will see you all tomorrow, 7:30. I will be here every morning at 7:30. Come here, like this live, follow me. I'm going to give you everything that you need. The book is going to be out soon, so you can have it in front of you. So while we're going through this stuff, you're going to have this book in front of you. You're going to be able to make the right decisions, okay? Never date just once, sis. It's not just a saying. It's an actual lifestyle. And I need to get you somewhere that you haven't been before. And we're not speeding to get there. So get ready. 7:30 Eastern. Yes, 7:30 a.m. every morning. Eastern. Exactly. Eastern time, okay? So if you live on a different time zone, please set your clocks. They say my live from the end. Huh? That's so cool. Okay. Set your clocks. I'll be here tomorrow morning at 7:30. We will continue this journey. You ain't suck them right. You ain't F them right. You ain't do nothing right. But there is somebody else who takes up what your slack is. And he ain't got to stop messing with you just because she take up the slack. See how that go? Exercising his right to have options. You've got to learn how to start doing the same and keep doing the same until he has found you. Okay. What you mean with roster? Brittany. Oh, okay. You know what? When I finish these commandments, I'm going to explain it in depth when I say roster, okay? Just hang on, Brittany. Let me get through the commandments, okay? Next commandment, thou shalt not settle for any reason. Continue dating until the best man finds you. A lot of y'all have settled. Y'all have met John. John showed a little bit genuine interest. Y'all went on a couple of dates. You felt like you liked John. You put all your eggs in one basket. 6 months passed by, John's still the same. He's still on planned dates. Y'all have not did anything extraordinary. Not all y'all do is Netflix and chill now. 6 months done passed. You don't let John get away with stuff. You have settled. You have settled because you think that John is the only person that'll like you. Absolutely not. Because your vibrations are here, John's vibrations are here, y'all attract. When you start increasing your vibrations, John is no longer attracted to you. He cannot reach you. You are too high. This is where you are. This is why you keep attracting John. We don't want no more Johns. Those are the Dusties. We want the men that's going to pull us up to their level. Okay, so that's why I said you can't settle. If you're settling, then you're still at that level. You're not moving up. You're just settling. All right? Thou shalt not spin the block no matter how remodeled and gentrified it has become. I know y'all love a change. I know y'all love a big change. No matter how the block has been remodeled, no matter how gentrified and whoever, you're not spinning that block. You should not know what is going on that block anymore. You are done with that block. When you packed your bag and got in your car and drove off that block, that was it. That was it. We're not turning the corner and saying, okay, let me go back and see if he's still out there. Absolutely not. Because you're going to turn the corner. He's going to be out there. It's going to be another woman in his arms. Stop playing with yourself. Stop spinning that block, man. It ain't that much change in the world. Don't settle just because you feel like, dang, me and him got a history. Okay. Now, thou shalt not overtext, overcall, or overreach out. If you overextend yourself, you'll overstay your welcome. He can't wait to get rid of you. Sometimes y'all text too much. I told y'all sometimes y'all talk too much. Stop it. Pull all of that energy into a date. Make him do all of this stuff in person so you can read his body language. Because you're going to learn a lot from that body language. You're not going to learn nothing from listening to whatever he wants to tell you. You're not going to know nothing from reading whatever he wants to tell you. But that body language is going to show you a lot. So learn how to be observant and stop always trying to text and talk. Y'all got to start watching and observing. Go into the environments with his family, with his friends, with his coworkers. See the different versions of him. So you can make an informed decision if this is the best man for you. Because a lot of time when y'all get with somebody and then they become abusive, they come to somebody else, the first thing y'all says, I thought I knew him. You only knew what he allowed you to know. That is it. The other things come out by you observing him in different settings in his life. You will learn a lot by the way he treats you, by the way he treats others, and about the way he treats himself. You won't need to learn nothing else but from those two things, because you're going to see if he's respectful, if he's loving, if he's caring, if he's worth your time by the way he treats you, by the way he treats others, and by the way he treats himself. Remember, self is first. If this person is not treating themselves well because they're sleeping around, ask yourself, do you need to get on that bandwagon? Because a person who sleeps around is clearly showing us that there is little to no self-love because they're just passing their energy out to anybody. Think of that. Don't let no man tell you nothing different. How he treats you, others, and himself is all you need to know about him. You'll learn so much just by observing, okay? And the last one, thou shalt not cut anyone off that will serve better as a friend. Every suitor is not worth you being in love, but they may be a great friend. I told you, I remember we talked yesterday, if you wasn't here, Daquan. Daquan was the one that had the listening ear. Daquan listened to everything you had going on. Initially, you thought you and Daquan was going to be great as lovers, but you feel after those first conversations, you soon learned that Daquan is better as your homeboy. So before you cross those lines and cut Daquan off, because now you don't mess with him no more, instead of that, you made him a homeboy. Have you a lifelong friend. Every man is not going to be your lover, but they don't need to be your enemy either. They can be your friend, okay? So those are our 11 commandments, okay? If you can go to YouTube, watch the video. This video will be on YouTube so you can run it back. Please, let's keep these commandments in the forefront. Now, hold on. We got I'm going back because I got to answer a question. Somebody asked, let me get to the question, y'all. It was from Brittany. Brittany said roster date. She don't understand roster date. Well, let me explain to you. Yeah, roster date. How can you be friends with men though? Never had a good experience because you have to keep it you have to make, first of all, you have to set standards. Remember I told you about the commandments? These are the commandments for roster dating. The reason why the friendships don't go the way you want them to go because standards have not been set. There have been too much flirting and some other stuff. Set the standard from the beginning. Sir, I'm not looking for nothing beyond a platonic friend. If he can't oblige to that, get out of there. Set the standard early though. Let him know you're not looking for nothing sexual, nothing emotional. You're just looking for a genuine friend because you have not had that in a man in a long time. If he cannot understand that, get out of there. Set boundaries from the beginning. You do not have to jump into something that you don't want to. If you set the boundaries from the beginning, then that's it. What is your name on YouTube? China T Coach Erica. Click the link in my bio, daily pay, and you can get right to the link because the YouTube link is in my bio. And you will have all of the episodes that we have had up until this point, okay? So setting boundaries early. Now back to what is roster dating? Roster dating is the act of multiple people dating multiple people. Dating. Let me underline, highlight, bold, and capitalize the word dating. Y'all finna confuse dating with sex. That's why I told y'all been doing it all wrong. Dating has never included sex. Dating does not include anything physical. Dating is fun. It has always been to fun because the more fun you have with somebody and the more you can see them in different settings, the more you can start developing genuine, organic feelings for them and you can start seeing things or red flags will start popping up when you date. When you meet him on Monday, y'all have talked and text up until Wednesday. You have invited him over on Thursday and y'all have jumped in the bed on Friday. You did not date. You did it all wrong. And guess what? The results you're looking for ain't coming with him because you ain't saw all the versions of him yet. You just saw this initial cap version, the cap version that every man has because every man has a cap version. You saw the initial cap version. You liked the cap. You fell for the cap. You F'd the cap. The cap played you. Stop it. That's surface level attraction. Okay? What all-in-one home care says, you're getting to know multiple people at the same time. This is where everybody starts. The level. That's John, Jerry, Mike, Dante, Darius, and Jimmy. Everybody on the same level. As the weeks go by, they will increase because you will start getting your needs met. So you have a need, like I said, you have a need for your hair and nails to get done. Every woman wants to feel beautiful. Somebody on the roster takes care of that. He moves up a notch. I didn't say fuck him. I just said he moves up a notch. You have a need to go on nice dates. Somebody on the roster takes you on nice dates all the time. Move them up. You have a need for bills to get paid. Somebody on the roster paying your bills. Move them really up. You see what I'm saying? But when everybody comes, they're on the same different level. When they start moving up is when your needs start getting met. No, they don't move up and the gift is not sex. The gift is not sex. The gift is your happiness.